Quadratic equations, we are continuing on. We are going to continue to learn how to factor in order to solve quadratics, so something with a squared term. But today we're introducing a coefficient other than 1 in the x squared term. So now we've got a number up there, which changes it. If you remember when we multiplied out two binomials with a number, it definitely changed it. So take a look. Here's what we're going to do. Find two numbers that have a product of 2 times 3. So they actually show you this. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not learn this when I was taught how to factor. I just guessed and checked. But this is cool, so I'm going to show you both ways. So when I learned, I just put in numbers right here. And I knew that since it was 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 equals 0, I knew that this had to be 2 and 1. I knew that this had to be 3 and 1. I still have my x's and 1x, and I knew that they both had to be the same signs and they both have to be plus. So then I just tried. I could put 3 here and 1 here, or 3 here and 1 here. Now I'm going to show you right here that I know this because then 2x times 1x is 2x squared, 2x times 1 is plus 2x, and 3 times 1x is plus 3x, and 3 times 1 is plus 3. And then my two middle terms get added together and give me 5x, which is what I needed. Okay? Now I just know that this number always ends up being, always ends up being multiplied by that number, and I knew I didn't want to multiply 3 by that. But we could simply just keep, if that didn't work, I could flip them around and try again. Guess and check. That is my method. That is the way I do it. I'm pretty good at it, but this was really cool. I learned a new method, which was you take the coefficients of your x squared and your c, so your a and your c, and you multiply them. And 2 times 3 gives you 6. So you think of all the factors of 6. So you got 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. And then we know that the signs are both plus, so we're going to have to add them. And so since 6 plus 1 is 7, it's not going to be that one, but 2 plus 3 is 5. And so then you know it's 2 and 3, and then you guess and check. And so that was their process. All right, so you can look at this algebraic formula if you want to, but I just want to dive in, okay? So these first ones, we're not actually solving them, we're just factoring them. So right here, I'm going to put my parentheses for my 2, and 4 times 5 is 20. So all my factors of 20. We got 20 and 1, we've got 10 and 2, we've got 5 and 4, okay? Now, because it's a minus sign, I know I'm going to have 1 plus and 1 minus. So I need to look for where I have a sum of 8 in here. All right, a sum of 8. But remember, or a difference of 8, because one's going to be plus and one's going to be minus. So I'm going to get a difference of positive 8. Well, 20 and 1, they give me 19. 10 and 2, that gives me 8, right? 5 and 4, that is 1. So I know it's going to be 10 and 2. But remember, it's got to give me a positive 8, which means negative 10 and positive 2 have to be in there. And my factors of 4 are 4 and 2. Why do I need to know that? Well, I struggle with this a little bit. The factors of 4 are 4 and 2, 2 and 2, or 4 and 1. And so I'm just going to pair the 2 with the 2. Now, watch what happens. So instead of 8, I'm going to break this 8 down into 4x squared. It's going to be a plus 10x and a minus 2x and a minus 5. Now, I missed my whole point here. I'm going to switch these two around. So 4x squared minus 2x plus 10x. Anybody know why I did that? You probably don't, because you don't know where I'm going with this. We are going to use grouping. Way back 2 lessons ago, what can I take out of these two? 2x. That's why I brought that 2x over there. So I've got x minus 1. And what can I take out of these two? Now, notice this is a negative 5, and that's a 10. And so I'm going to take out a 2. So I'm going to get 5x. Sorry, I'm going to take out a 5. So I get 2x. You guys, I'm terrible at math. 2x minus 1. When I factored out a 2, that was 2x. 4 divided by 2 is 2, so apologize. But notice now I can use my grouping, and I get 2x plus 5 times 2x minus 1. Double check your answers. So if I do 2x plus 5 and 2x minus 1, if I double check, I get 4x squared minus 2x plus 10x minus 5, and then I get the 8. Now, that is one way to do it. Now, obviously, yours is not going to take you that long. All right, so let's try it again. 6 and 24. 6 and 24. Oh, you know what? Here's my problem. This is something I haven't been stressing to you. I'm going to look at this. Always the first step is going to be, what, if I can I take something out, divide all of my terms by? And hopefully you can see that you can. You can actually take out a 6, and I'm going to get x squared plus 3x minus 4. And that makes it a whole lot easier to factor, because our factors of 4 are 4 and 1, or 2 and 2, and I need a difference because, and it's going to be these right here. So the 6 stays out there. I have x and x, and I need a positive 3, so I'm going to go plus 4 and a minus 1, and all of that is my answer, including the 6 that I factored out. Okay, make sure you include it in your answer. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over, and I'm going to wait and talk a little bit until my voice catches up. So let's continue on the back side. We got 3x squared minus 11x plus 10. Now, is there anything I can take out or factor out or divide all of my terms by? Nope. Okay, so let's talk about what 3 times 10 is. It is 30. All of the sums of 30, well, we've got 6 and 5, factors of 30. We've got 3 and 10. We've got 2 and 15. And we've got 30 and 1. Very rarely is it going to be 30 and 1, but every once in a while it will be. So they are both the same sign, both going to be negative. So we are looking for the sum. So we got 11, we've got 14, we've got 17, we got 31. Well, here we go. It's going to be those two, and factors of 3 are 3 and 1. So if I'm going to do this, I probably want to pair my 6 with the 3, and I'll show you what I mean. So I got a 3x squared minus a 6x minus a 5x, because those are my two that equal 30, and negative 11 plus 10. I put the 6 with the 3 because now I can group them and take out a 3x. When I take out a 3x, I get x minus 2. If I want a minus 2, I got to take out a negative 5. So I get x minus 2. And now I have 3x minus 5 from right here, and x minus 2. That was from way back in lesson, I believe, 5, that we learned how to group. Okay, so let's double check my answer. I get 3x squared minus 6x minus 5x plus 10, and negative 6 and negative 5 give me negative 11, and we are golden. There it is. On the next example, again, I'm checking, can I factor anything out? No, I cannot. So I'm going to move on. 3 times 20 is 60. That's where they get the 60. All right, so all factors of 60. I am looking for a sum. They're both going to be negative, so I still have to add them together to get 17. So I have, let's see, 3 and 30, right? Sorry, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 6 and 10, There's probably more. 8 and 12. I think, no, sorry, 6 and 12. 5 and 12. Blah, there it is. 5 and 12 give me 17. So 32, 23, 19, 16, 17. There it is. My factors of 3 are obviously 3 and 1. So I'm going to pair my 3 with the 12. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go 3x squared, and I'm going to do a minus 12x there, a minus 5x next, and a plus 20, because 12 and negative 5 give me negative 17. Now let's factor by grouping, so we can take out a 3x and get x minus 4. We can take out a negative 5 because I want x minus 4, and I get 3x minus 5 times x minus 4. Double check my answer. 3x squared minus 12x minus 5x plus 20, and that gives me negative 17x, and we are golden. Now, could I have just guessed and checked? Yeah, I know it's going to be 3x. I know it's going to be x, and I could check 5 and 4. I could check 2 and 10. I could check all of those and figure it out and see what it would be. And I knew I would take 4 times 3 and add 5, because 4 times 3 gives me 12. So I get 3x squared minus 12x minus 5x plus 20. And I could do that also. All right. So how do we solve them? Okay. Well, or what if we can't factor it? What if it doesn't make any sense? Take a look at this one. Okay, so if I have 3x squared minus x plus 1, well, 3 times 1 is 3. My only two options are 3 and 1, and my signs have to be the same, which means I got to add them together. That's 4. Never going to be negative 1. Never going to find. Yet this is prime. Can't do it. Same thing here on this one, all right? 4 times 5 is 20. And I am adding two negatives together. Well, 20 is 20 and 1. I got 10 and 2. I got 5 and 4. Those are my two options, and I have to add them together to get 3. Not gonna happen. That baby is prime as well. Okay, so some things will not be able to be factored. It is prime. That does not mean they don't have an answer. It just means their answers are not integers. All right, they will give you irrational answers, maybe even imaginary answers. Okay, so let's go to the last page and talk about what we do to solve these equations. Now, we've already solved equations by factoring. We just factor them, set them equal to 0, set each factor equal to 0, and solve for our multiple answers. So again, we have something that's falling to the ground, right? Here is our negative 16t squared plus vt plus h to sub 0. Okay, h is the height in feet, t is the time in seconds, and v is the initial velocity in feet per second. H sub 0 is the initial height. All right, so height equals negative 16 times the second squared plus the initial velocity times the seconds plus the initial height. And notice you are going to need this formula for number 22, so come back to that. All right, so let's see here. A ball is thrown from a height of 10 feet above the ground. That's h sub 0. On its way down, it lands on the top of a building 34 feet above the ground. If the initial velocity was 40, how long was the ball in the air before it landed? Okay, so when it landed on the building. In other words, the height is 34 feet. So when is it going to be at 34 feet? Negative 16t squared. Our initial velocity is 40, so t, and our initial height is 10. I just took that equation, I substituted everything they gave me. I want to know when it hits the top of the building at 34 feet. Its initial velocity was 40, and its initial height was 10. But in order to solve this, I need to set it equal to 0. So we're going to subtract 34, and we're going to get 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 40t minus 24. Now, remember, this is the part where I always forget. Can you take something out of all of your terms? The answer to that question is yes. We can take a 4 out. Not just a 4, I'm actually going to take a negative 4 out, and here's why. So I'm going to take a negative 4 out. I'm going to get 4t squared minus 10t plus 6. And you guys, I actually goofed, because look at, I still have 4, 10, and 6, which is all divisible by 2. So if I take out a 2, that's going to be negative 8. I get 2t squared minus 5t plus 3. Oh, that is so much prettier, right? So now we have 2 times 3 is 6, and we are looking for a sum. So we got 6 and 1 are 2 and 3, and that's a sum of 7, and 2 and 3 is a sum of 5. Hello. Factors of 2, because what can I put with the 2? Well, probably the 2. So I've got, don't forget, that negative 8 stays out there. And I got 2t squared minus 2t minus 3t plus 3, because negative 2 and negative 3 give me negative 5. Now let's group in my parentheses. 2t gives me t minus 1. Take out a negative 3 gives me t minus 1. So my factor looks like this. 2t minus 3 and t minus 1. I'm going to set each of those factors, except, if I set negative 8 equal to 0, that's not going to give me an answer. But 2t minus 3 equal to 0 and t minus 1 equal to 0, solve each of them. Now, I have 2 answers. They are 1.5 seconds and 1 second. So we have to think about this. If you throw that ball or kick it, throw it up in the air, and it goes up and then it comes down, and on its way down it lands on the top of the building, which is the answer we are looking for? Because it's going to be at 34 feet twice. It's going to be at 34 feet on 1 second and at 1.5 seconds. And the answer is the 1.5 seconds, because we want to know when it's going to hit it on the way down. That's when it's 34 feet on the way up, and we want it on the way down. So 1.5 seconds, all right? So if you have any questions, you're probably going to have to come and see me. But on the back of your notes, you will see your assignment, and it is 10 through 28 all. That is only 19 questions. Please, please, please come and see me if you have any questions. All right? You guys can do this. You're very good. All right? I will see you later. Bye.